Bro. And bro, Justin, I ain't trying to put you on blast, but I saw that man in tears, bro. I'm not no politician, bro. Listen to the kids, bro. I don't understand it, bro. I've been conflicted, bro. But that, bro. I don't know what's gonna happen tonight. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, bro. We the millennials, bro.
What up? What's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blaze, and we're here with the Current Gaming Podcast. I'm joined by Trophy Pops, Drew Scheffler. What's going on, man?
What's going on, everybody?
And my guy himself, David Morgan. What's going on, bro?
What's going on?
Yeah, so we got a big news week this week. Far Cry 5 got announced. Lawbreakers got announced. There's an Uncharted movie development, but obviously the biggest news is Rockstar decided to go ahead and delay Red Dead Redemption 2 to 2018 after coming out in 2017. So yeah, basically that's probably the biggest news of the week. What do you guys, Drew? You called it on last week's show.
I did call it last week. I just think that Rockstar is notorious for pushing their games back. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, because I've, besides like not having GTA Online for GTA 5, never really been disappointed with their games. So I think it's for the best. But you know, we'll see. Come what is it, February or just spring? Spring right now.
I think it's just spring.
So, yeah, we'll see.
David, what do you think?
But I think Rockstar.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I assume that they're probably tweaking the online aspects of the game right now. That's just my, headcanon for what's going on. I'd much rather the game be delayed and good than like not and shitty.
Yeah.
I forget if it was Miyamoto that had that quote that was like, a released game is bad forever and a delayed game is good eventually, or something like that.
It's 3 months you're mad about it, but
I'm just really hoping that the online for Red Dead Redemption 2 is not much like GTA 5's, like in the netcode aspect of it, because that game is like a fucking loading screen simulator. And you spend most of your time in the lobby.
Yeah, whenever you switch back and forth between online and single player, it's like a fucking pain in the ass.
It's pretty bad. So I'm just hoping that they get that kind of sorted out. But I have faith. I think it'll be a good game. The game is gorgeous, and I have faith.
Yeah, they released some screenshots. I don't know how like bullshotty kind of they are, but like they were fucking gorgeous. So like, yeah. The other second kind of neck and neck biggest news was Far Cry 5 got its full reveal announced, and Drew again talked about this too last week, that there's going to be a religious cult in rural Montana, and it appears to be going a little more political as far as like mainline US kind of stuff that is going on. I'm gonna read the bullet points from GameSpot right now. It's the first Far Cry game set in America. It has PS4 Pro and Project Scorpio enhancements, I guess. The entire story is solo or 2-player co-op, which I actually like. Drew and I played Far Cry 4 a lot together. Yeah, we played it. Yeah, we played it together. Yeah, fuck you. We played it together a bunch, and that was one of my favorite parts of it. And they took that out in Primal, but it's back now. It's got muscle cars, stuff like that, which I'm sure you're into, David.
Very into that, yes.
Bears and cougars are apparently some of the big things.
Big into that.
I guess PS4 players get a free Far Cry 5 skin. Who the fuck cares? And then Ubisoft Montreal is the main developer from it. Just kind of guys' take on the overall reveal. It's coming out February 28th, right? Was that the date?
Correct, yeah.
The date. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
February 27th. But yeah, you guys, what are your takes on it, David?
Here's my hot take. So this game is
hot take every Friday.
Being teased very early on with very little actual info about it, except for the setting and the
main antagonist.
The main here's the big plot.
Yeah.
And I think that they're generating buzz because they know the political climate right now. They've probably had this game in the works for a long time.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling that when it actually comes out, it's going to be way safer than people think it is, because you can pick your own protagonist, you can pick the gender and the skin color, so they're dodging that bullet right away.
Yeah.
And I feel like the cult is going to be more like, we're fucking crazy and violent, and our morals are way black and white, than were racist and were Christian.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because I mean, there are black people in the cult that I saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
So it's not like a strictly race thing, which you know that's kind of playing it safe. So I feel like when the actual game comes out, it's gonna be like not even like an issue at all. It's just this teaser is put out to like stir up a lot of press, which it's doing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a very good marketing move, but the actual game is probably gonna be like, you know, quirky villain that's, you know, charismatic and well written, just like every other fucking Far Cry game. And it's gonna be like a cult of people who are just violent for like the sake of their own kind of twisted morality and not because they're, you know, white nationalists.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion, but I don't know.
What do you think, Drew?
I mean, I think maybe I agree to an extent with David. The timing of them revealing like the plot, location, and everything, it does work with what's going on currently in the United States. But I think that Far Cry does a fantastic job of developing antagonists. They do a fantastic job, especially Far Cry 2, Far Cry 3. I mean, Boss was like almost, in my opinion, like almost perfect for a first-person shooter villain. Primal dropped off a little bit, but I mean, I think that's still. I think they're gonna build. I believe his name's Joseph. Joseph being the main antagonist.
Richard Spencer.
I think he's gonna be. Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool. I mean, like we said last week, I hate to love to hate Ubisoft, you know, but like I'm gonna get the game. I'm gonna play it most likely day one. Far Cry's never disappointed me personally, so I'm interested to see what they'll do. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna be as black and white as you say, David. I think that they can take some risks, being from what they've done before and kind of like how their villains have been acted and treated other NPCs in the game, just like story narrative wise. But I think I'm excited, definitely.
Yeah, no, I'm in between you guys. Or I'm more on David's side. I think they will like play it safe and stuff. And they talked about, you can pick your character's gender and their skin color. And like, if that's just like kind of set dressing where it's like it's not narratively incorporated in the game, because if I'm expected, there's like a breakaway religious like alt-right kind of cult in Montana, and they're just cool, like, and I'm a black guy coming up there, and they're just like, there's no mention of that. I'm like, all right, well, you just did this for no fucking reason. Like, it just seems. Right. And the other thing I'm really like, I feel like this is gonna happen is either there will be no like Native American presence in the game, which in like actual Montana is like a big, like, there is Native Americans there, or they'll be the side quest drug people, which I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm already like seeing that happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Like in 4 and 3 and like it's just like that. I hope that doesn't. I hope that doesn't happen. But like that's kind of what I see.
You gotta think about the amount of effort that Ubisoft would have to put in to like have unique lines for your skin color and things and your gender.
Yeah,
and they should, but I mean it's Ubisoft and like. I mean, they're fine developers, but like they aren't exactly known for their like attention to detail when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I honestly just feel like it, and their stories have always relied more on like morality and like. I mean, Far Cry 4 had the whole like, you know, the struggle of like those little guys, people, and that's fine, but they've never really tackled, as far as I know, like race in like their politics. So I feel like it's gonna be more of just we're evil and you're good. You're called the fucking Resistance, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That's like, that was my red flag. I'm like, okay, they're going nowhere with this. This is just going to be another fucking free the outposts, climb the towers, like.
Yeah, and I'm okay with a little bit like of if they don't want to put the whole like jump all the way in the pool and just kind of dip their toe in it a little bit. I'm cool with that to a certain extent, but like you have to try a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna make a game this kind of provocative and stuff like that, you have to try to a certain degree.
I want to call it now real quick before you move on. I just want to call it. I last week 2 for 2 on predictions. I think Ubisoft will take some risks. I think that taking risks, albeit does ding you in the media. I think gamers. I think it does sell games. I mean, GTA 5 is still one of the best selling games, and every year, every time that a new GTA gets released, it's like red flags all over the place, like this causes this causes that.
Well, but this is in the other direction. GTA is like, we're offensive and not exactly PC, and gamer culture generally eats that shit up. This is more like, this is the gamers throwing up the red flags, not the press. So it's kind of like the other way around, I think, because you know,
yeah. I mean,
nobody in like games journalism is being like, hold on, you're making fun of Republicans. Like nobody is saying that. Everybody's like, this is fucking awesome. I'm glad that they're saying, and you know, we're just reporting on it, and then it's the gamers that are being like, you know, I don't agree with this, how people are being represented that I agree with, you know, and it's just like,
right.
So I don't know if they're comparable, but I understand where you're coming from, that sometimes controversy sells games more than anything.
Also, yeah, if it is just a like killing Republican simulator, that's like stupid as fuck too.
Yeah,
like,
no, they definitely should.
Like there needs to be like a nuance to it, and like
yes.
if they explored like why people join these cults and why these cults target like
it reminds me more. It's less like, for me, it doesn't remind me of like Republicans, because like I'm not one of the people that like condemns fucking people for their political beliefs. Like, you know, a lot of, you know, I'm not gonna go into that, but it reminds me more of like Waco, and people seem to be not making that comparison at all. I mean, I've seen it a couple times, but like, I feel like it's gonna be more like this guy has a fucking man bun, for one thing, the villain. Yeah. And so he's probably gonna be like a hippy dippy preacher type guy, obviously.
It'll be like Jonesville or something like that, or Jonestown.
Yeah, or because Waco, I mean, they weren't really crazy.
People, no, they were crazy.
That,
they were crazy.
Well, okay, they weren't Jonestown.
They were crazy. I mean, they weren't
not.
No, they were
Christians, and so they got
like Westboro Baptist Church is crazy too. Like it was similar.
Okay, all right, that's a little off the deep end, but that's fine.
I mean, it's just like one family. We're all like fucking each other, and like
Waco was not okay. You need to do some research.
I mean, that's what they did. Could people leave Waco?
They fucked. Okay, Waco fucked.
Could people leave Waco?
To my knowledge, yeah. But
I don't think you could. I don't think you could.
They were all fucking old people. They weren't. They were just a bunch of old people listening to a hippy dippy.
I'm not saying they should. The government should have killed them. I'm just saying that, like, I don't.
I hope you're not. It doesn't matter. This is gonna be. They're not even gonna be like conservative in their political beliefs. Probably. They're just gonna be like, we have a different form of Christianity, and we're feeling persecuted, so we're gonna be violent. Because Waco was like, we have a bunch of guns, but we're gun traders for the most part, so leave us alone. And these people are gonna be like, we have guns, and we're gonna shoot people with them, and so come kill us because we're evil. That's what I think the plot's gonna be. But we'll see.
We shall see. Another game I guess we're gonna see about is Lawbreakers. It's the new hero shooter thing, majigger from.
Jesus Christ, I'm so tired of hearing hero
shooter.
Every week it's another hero shooter.
The only reason anybody really cares, I feel like, is it's Cliff Bleszinski is the director of it.
Cliff Bleszinski's the reason.
I'm like, he made Gears of War.
Okay, yeah, and he's also a huge. Okay, I don't know. Cliff Bleszinski is pretty abrasive.
Finish that thought. What do you think?
What do you think?
Bleszinski is a fine game designer, and I feel like he rubs people the wrong way, and he's a little abrasive when it comes to his.
He's the Phil Fish kind of thing.
I wouldn't put him that far.
Not that, but the same kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And it keeps coming up on my fucking Twitter. Promoted. I've never read a trailer that I'm more proud of than this. Lawbreakers, and I'm like, sure, but there's like also Quake Champions, and then there's what's the other one that just went? Paragon.
No, that's not a shooter, but yeah, it's same.
Yeah. What's the one that? That's the one that.
What's the one that looks exactly like it? Rush has a similar art style. Fuck yeah, it's free to play. Oh man.
I don't remember.
Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy. I'm gonna look it up. What do you think about this game, Drew?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I need to look at gameplay.
Ask you a question. Do you consider Overwatch a Twitch shooter?
No.
Nah, not really.
I get what you're saying. This is going for more like the Quake thing.
Yeah.
This is going for Quake Champions. I don't think Twitch shooters are gonna do well on a console.
No, not at all. No, this is a PC game.
I mean, sure, I'm glad you brought it to the PS4. People will play it, but it's not gonna do the numbers he thinks on a console because
Paladins.
A Twitch shooter is meant to be played on a PC. I think. I mean, personal opinion.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. No, it's totally gonna be like. I mean, I'm looking at gameplay right now. Yeah, it looks like it's going for a Quake thing. It's going fast. You're gonna instigate people. I mean, but I don't know because Titanfall 2 did it. That wasn't really a Twitch shooter, but it did the movement pretty well.
And that didn't have like the class system that I think this is gonna have either. That was more Call of Duty based.
Time will tell, but this is a game that I would only play on PC. I don't
$30 price point, I think, is actually like the canary in the coal mine. It's not bad, yeah. And it looks like it's not like a $30 game where it has a cartoony art style. It like has a legit I think the art style of this game is like really pretty, and like I think Overwatch is really pretty.
It's beautiful.
But it's not like it's not like Paladins or anything like that. But yeah, I don't.
It has a gritty kind of cartoony. I like the combination there. It's got the high
Hopefully,
contrast.
It won't go the way what was that game? The David Jaffe game.
Exactly. What was that game?
Oh fuck! It was free on PS Plus, and still nobody played it.
Drawn to Death.
Drawn to Death, yeah.
Jesus. When was the last time you heard that?
And it came out like a month ago too.
I think I played it when it came out, and I played like the tutorial, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I don't even know
that
what
game's
this
also
is.
like bad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
Good games sometimes do not do well like Titanfall 2, so hopefully this doesn't. If it's good, hopefully it has a player base that's reasonable. We'll see.
For sure.
I'm hopeful.
Hopefully, something I should be hopeful on, but not really, is this Mario Rabbids game that just keeps. It's the leak that won't stop.
Yeah.
So yeah. Site. What's the site? Comic book something.com. I don't remember. They had the original leak. But then everything kind of got blown out, and it's even more. We know all about it now. And this Mario Rabbids game is real. It's got Mario and Rabbids dressed like Mario.
People saying like, no, this can't be real.
It's
like,
just.
Why not? I don't get it. Was it Nintendo fans just trying to save face because like they gotta win? I don't like to lump people into fan bases, but I honestly feel like people just being like, no, this is obviously fake. Nintendo can't be making this, but they're not. It's like probably Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft, I think, making it. But I like as much as I don't care about this game at all, and I think it looks terrible.
Well, we haven't seen any games.
But like the Rabbids
promotional image.
The Rabbids are the minions of France. So like not
I would say the minions of video games.
The not high hopes for this, but
apparently the Rabbids are actually pretty popular in France.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like minions. The minions are popular.
I guess when you put it like that.
But the thing the silver lining I think we could take from this to a certain degree is that Nintendo is licensing out their IP to other companies, which obviously it's still going to be only on Switch, but like them letting other companies take their IP like Mario and stuff like that, or maybe down the road some other ones, like, does that happen? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's a history with, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember exactly. Rabbids wasn't necessarily on everything. Rabbids did start on the Wii, correct?
I want to say so, yeah.
There was like Raving Rabbids 2. So, I mean, that might just be a deal between Ubisoft and Nintendo.
That is true.
Do you remember the game?
Like shit? Yeah, but I mean, people will buy it. I bet there's kids that play the Switch and they're like, "Oh wow, this looks cool." You know, just like the Minions. Kids love the Minions. Kids.
Yeah, no. If they get Switches out there, that's cool because then you get more games and higher player base and stuff like that. What were you saying, David?
I was saying, do you guys remember the game Skylanders?
Yeah, I do remember Skylanders. I think it's still around.
Nintendo licensed Donkey Kong for that.
Oh yeah, I guess they did. Yeah, they did.
So,
yeah, they did.
Not the first time.
Yeah, I guess it's not the first time.
We'll see if it picks up traction. That'd be cool.
Yeah, no, I just hopefully in general, this is something maybe we can see going forward. Them giving their characters out because their characters are awesome, and seeing what other studios might do with them, it's really cool.
The most exciting part right here is the fact that the guns, their hand cannons, look very similar to Samus's hand cannon. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see.
I think they look pretty close.
Yeah, I was thinking Mega Man, but
yeah,
Mega Man, Samus, you know, Metroid Prime,
Nintendo hand cannon,
2019.
No, don't even start.
Something else that might never happen is this Uncharted movie, which that was a good transition. Fuck you guys if you're not saying that was a good transition. I was so happy. I looked at both of your faces. I looked you in the eyes to see your reaction to that one. This Uncharted movie apparently has Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
Terrible casting.
You think so?
Terrible.
Why?
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this guy in a movie. I'm just looking at this.
He's Spider-Man in the Marvel movies. No.
Yeah, he's gonna be the new Spider-Man. I think they're going to young Drake.
They're doing a prequel to the movies when Drake meets Sully, I guess.
Oh, okay.
If you pull up a picture of Tom Holland and you pull up a picture of young Nathan Drake portrayed in like Uncharted 3 and 4 and stuff,
I didn't know it was a prequel.
They look pretty similar in my opinion. Like, I mean, he could pull it off with a little makeup, a little of this, gray hair, a little bit longer.
A little this, a little that.
I think And he's playing the Amazing Spider-Man, and he's going to be the Spider-Man for hopefully a little bit. Mm-hmm. And from the trailer, it seems like he's got the little the one-liners and like the jokes and everything. I mean, that's like kind of that's Nathan Drake's thing, So that's one of his things. So I think he could play young Nathan Drake really well.
Yeah.
Unless
I think
Spider-Man curse gets him, and then they just reboot it next year.
Yeah, what
the drugs and he's done.
I'm very excited. I number one, I do not think this movie still will ever happen.
Do they ever though? Do video game movies ever happen?
Like they happen in
Assassin's Creed last year.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed. Dude.
And then people were saying the BioShock movie, and then that never happened.
Yeah, no, I don't. Number one, I don't. The Last of Us movie was a thing. Remember when they had Maisie Williams attached to it and stuff like that. But I don't think this movie will ever happen. But I do think if they are gonna go the route of making a Uncharted movie, I think the prequel is the right route, not retelling the first, second, and third story all in one thing. Kind of, I think that's a little not cool. But so I'm really interested to see what they do with it. I don't think this movie will happen. Still, I'm very much on that train.
That's fair.
Yeah, so the Switch still doing good. I guess Nintendo's still doing good. So Monster Hunter, is it 20 or XX? Do you like?
It's Double Cross.
Double Cross. Ew.
Oh, that's how they're gonna call it. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it here.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
That got announced.
It's gonna be Monster Hunter 20.
Yeah, that got announced for the Switch.
You can tell by the way that everyone's shitting on this story. He's like, oh, Nintendo, fucking what is this called? 20. Monster Hunter 20.
That game got announced for the Nintendo Switch, and apparently their market value went up $2.2 billion. Right after that.
Which sounds like a lot. It's not like huge. It's like 2% of their. I mean, that's like a lot for stock.
That's a bunch of money.
Like 50 something billion, I think. So
yeah, they got money on here.
It's a spike for sure. So people, for those of you who don't know, Monster Hunter is like fucking huge in Japan, like way bigger than the West. Like it sells, I think, better than Pokemon, especially on handhelds. So people were saying like, oh, it'll come to PS4. There's a rumor that it's coming to PS4. It might still, but the safe route was to put it on the Switch where people can carry it around, which is very popular there. Obviously, portables are always sell. So I thought this was interesting, and I hope that there's a consequential, hopefully quick Western release, but we'll see. I'm excited. I think it looks fun. I like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you're a big monster. You two are big. I've never I don't care. I could care less about this, but maybe I will. I don't know. But you like Monster Hunter, right, Drew?
I mean, I've actually never bought one.
No.
I think it looks cool.
Well, next topic.
Let's. Fuck you. No, I mean, I think Monster Hunter is one of the better selling 3DS games. I think that it'll help sell Switch consoles as well. I mean, it'll just keep the numbers. It just keeps them coming and keeps them coming. It pushes Nintendo to keep the production value of their consoles up. So, and really, it's a win-win for everybody, especially people that still haven't got a Switch that want one, which doesn't make any sense because, I mean, I feel like they're restocking stores like once a week now, and people still are having trouble getting them. So, we'll see. But I think Monster Hunter will be a hit on the Switch.
Yeah, I think so. I would guess too. That would be something Nintendo would be very happy about. Next story is the game developer strike, or not game developer.
Oh shit!
Yeah, all the game developers are on strike. No. The voice actor strike. Apparently, they're coming to terms with a few different developers that they originally have been striking from. So if you're not familiar with this story, a couple of months ago, the SAG basically portion of video game voice actors were like, these are the demands we want, and said if you don't pay these, we're going to strike a bunch of companies that include Activision, WB, Insomniac, Disney, and stuff like that. And so basically their terms were better working conditions, I guess, because they would have long kind of days that would hurt your voice or something like that. I'm not really too sure. I'm not belittling what they're doing, but like I just don't know the full. And the sticking point, I guess, was royalties related to games, where they would get just a lump sum depending on if the game reached like $2 million or 2 million sold milestone, 4 million sold milestone, 8 million sold milestone, and companies were just like nah, and so they went on strike, and apparently some companies, I guess, are starting to cave. They didn't say what companies are starting to agree to their terms, but If it's getting announced, I would assume it's like some bigger ones. I don't really know. What do you guys what do you guys think about this whole thing?
Well, I think I'm surprised, and I'm always surprised when big strikes like this happen, that like, especially in this field, that like a bunch of amateur voice actors didn't just like flood in and go like, "Hey, you guys need good," and you've never heard of me. Yeah, like I'm glad that didn't happen, because obviously these things, like, I agree with, like, if the game sells a fuck ton because of your voice being part of it, and people, there's a bunch of big voice actors that people follow and like they really like their work, and that sells games, like it does. So I agree with that. But I was pleasantly surprised to see that a bunch of younger, like newer blood in the industry wasn't like popping into those slots, and the companies weren't just like, okay, we'll just use these guys because we don't need whoever to voice our games. But if it's like sequels, like big sequels, I can definitely understand why that didn't happen. So I think it's great. I think it's a good move for them. I think it's going to make it a lot better for especially amateurs just starting out, getting better terms on their work, and nobody should have to suffer for what they do, and they should definitely get royalties for that. So yeah, for it.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I second that. I mean, I think just as there's royalties paid in like pretty much every other type of media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, and I think we all would agree, I think, that video games are no different. They tell a story, they provide entertainment, and I think that especially, I mean, games that do the numbers of the Uncharted series, or even, Call of Duty sells really well every year. There's like Kevin Spacey who was in it. I mean, he's a big actor, but like, I mean, he took time out of his busy schedule, House of Cards and anything else, movies, Boss Baby, shit.
House of Cards, but, next week.
It is next week, but I mean, he takes time out of his schedule to do this, and if he's not being paid his royalties like he is with other things, I mean, you're paying for the voice, you're paying for the name. I mean, Troy Baker and who am I forgetting? What's the other? Nolan North. I mean, those are the two big names in games media, and like, I think almost everybody would know those guys, and I think they deserve the money. Make their job more profitable.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I kind of feel like
David says on every other front.
The whole argument where it's like the counter argument would be like, what about the game developers? What, don't they deserve royalties and stuff like that for this? And it's kind of like there aren't mutually exclusive. Like, they can do this too. Like, that can happen. And like, if they right. wanna take the time to organize and kind of get better terms with publishers and stuff like that, like, they have to do that themselves. They can't just it's not, they're not unrelated, like, they're kind of to a degree unrelated, because like voice actors are their own thing, and then game developers are another section of the landscape. So like, they have to fight for their own thing, and I feel like this opens the door for them to do that to a certain degree. So kind of it helps them in a certain way. But I don't know. That's just a very unstraight opinion that I had just now. I was like or stream of consciousness. That's what I'm thinking of. That was terrible. Whatever.
Train of thought, stream of
you get the real shit.
Whatever.
Yeah. The next story we have here, Hitman developer apparently has to lay off a bunch of people. IO Interactive, we talked about it, I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I can't remember. They got let go, I guess, by Square Enix. So they're not working on the Hitman series anymore, and apparently that affected their business quite a bit, and they had to lay off a bunch of people, which sucks. If any of them are listening to this, that sucks. If you want to podcast with us, that's cool. We're not making any money either, so don't feel that bad. But yeah, they scaled back, and I guess they still around, and they're gonna be making some games in the future. But yeah, no, as far as this goes, it's pretty major loss for them.
Yeah, as far as like Hitman quality games, they're not gonna be in those. They could. It'd probably just take a long time. I mean, it sucks. It really does. And of course, they have. I mean, we all feel bad for it, but like, I think that's the way the business goes sometimes. And I mean, I saw on Twitter and everything, a lot of other game companies were definitely reaching out saying, hey, we know that you guys had to let go of people. We have open positions. Like, come here.
You just made an awesome game. We'd love to have some of that talent here.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it shows like the games community, especially developer side. I mean, I think that's something that's really cool. Just kind of seeing the community reach out like that and try and help others that have fallen on like a hard time. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, totally. Super talented people. Game was great. I think everyone agrees. Especially people trying to like shoot for those classic game feels. Like they really know game design, and the game was really polished and really well optimized. So there's a lot of talent there for sure, and I think that they'll get scooped up. I hope they land on their feet. So
hopefully, yep.
Next story, a little more positive. Xbox Game Pass. All the titles that are going to be available in the. So you guys familiar with this?
It's like Netflix.
It's like Netflix, but it's not PlayStation Now, where you're streaming it. You just download them.
Stream and rent the shit game.
Yeah, you just download them all. And so some big titles in here, I would say. They have the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Gears of War Ultimate Edition. Halo 5. IDARB is really cool. That's a
Double Fine joint. Really good.
Ali, Payday 2, Saints Row 4. I don't really care about, but Sunset Overdrive, and some other. And there's some, and then it also includes the Xbox 360 games. So BioShock 2, Dark Void, Fable 3, all the Gears of War games. What else is on here? Metal Slug 3, Spelunky, XCOM, Viva Pinata. So yeah, pretty cool. And so everybody, the big talk right now is like, kind of in my perspective, is like, why the fuck would you own an Xbox? If you have a PC, like, there's no point.
Yeah, right.
Like, to a certain degree, like, there's no point in owning a console that can just do the same thing. And stuff like this is like, would for sure be the reason I think that Xbox stays around, and it's good to have two consoles in the marketplace because they push each other. Because Xbox right now, obviously losing big to PS4, so them taking this step and being proactive and making like a Netflix style kind of thing, I think is a great move for people in the industry, because not only does it make gamers that have an Xbox happy, it makes PlayStation gamers say, "Hey, Sony, why the fuck don't we have this on our system?" And then Sony responds, and yeah, I think this is a really good thing. That's coming from somebody that doesn't have an Xbox at all. Drew, you have an Xbox. Do you care about this at all? Is this something you might like subscribe to, or?
I mean, I'm just gonna be upfront with you guys, and you probably know the only reason I own an Xbox is I'm trying to play all the exclusives. So, you know, I got Halo 5, Gears 4. I mean, Recore. I just play the exclusives. Now, if I use the Xbox One as my main console, I would be all about this.
Yeah. Just
because of the fact that $10 a month is a very small amount to pay to have access to like hundreds of games, and even to get a chance to try something out, like, whereas you could buy it and then you could return it, like that's a hassle. This is all between you and your Xbox and the online service. So as long as you got all that, like, download the game, you could. I mean, they're gonna have. I mean, they got the Halo 5. They have Mad Max was pretty good in my opinion. I mean, they have good games, and I think that giving people the chance to play them and everything will be awesome. The only thing is, like, so it says that when the games are added and removed on a monthly basis, if a game's removed, does that mean you like it'll uninstall, or can you keep playing as long as it's installed?
Like, what if you're
if you had Halo 5 and you're like, yeah, guys, I'll play Halo 5 tonight, and then, you know, hey, well, it changed, and now Halo 5 is not a part of it, so. Not that I think Halo 5 will remain indefinitely.
Yeah, because that's
in my opinion, being it's Microsoft's game. But for example, if it were Halo 5 that were removed, does the people that didn't get a chance to download it, that did download it, do they just not have access to it anymore?
Yeah, I would assume it'll probably be like your license for this game is not available.
That's why I think this is actually gonna like be a sneaky way to sell games. Like, if you're like 20 hours into beat it or something, and then it goes off the list, you're gonna be like, well, fuck, no, I just have to buy it to finish the game that I'm invested in. So I have a sneaking suspicion that this will sell games as well. So and that's kind of, I guess, kind of shitty. It's kind of like backwards from how PSN does. Like, you'll buy a game and then it'll be free.
Yeah.
This is like the game is free, then you either have to buy the game or you can't play it. So.
Yeah, they didn't talk about how long titles will be available for. They didn't say it was just a month for stuff, right?
No, they just said
they said
as long as it's
some content will be on a monthly basis in and out.
Okay, all right, I just didn't I don't know.
That's
I
the
just
only
think if
information
this
we
was available on PlayStation, I would 100% subscribe to this.
Oh, most definitely.
And
yeah,
I probably,
most definitely.
just like Netflix, I probably wouldn't even fucking use it, but I would 100% subscribe to it. So yeah, that's I think that's a good development for Xbox, and kind of that's what they need to do in order to, because right now Xbox in first party territory, like I don't like, not to shit on anybody, but like they just isn't as good as PlayStation 4. Like just point blank period isn't like on the same level as a Neo and a Nier and a Horizon and all these other games. So like if you're looking at it like a console perspective, like there's no like you would go with the PS4, especially if you're already on a PC. So stuff like this I feel like is going to help them in the future. Next story, quick one. Overwatch skins, and it's a year and stuff. We've been playing it a bunch, Drew. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely. Free weekend was
David,
this past weekend.
David was trying to play it with us, but he didn't want to.
It was like downloading. It was the free weekend on consoles.
Yeah.
By the time it was done, everybody was done playing that night. So,
I mean, it's the only thing I have to say about this, the anniversary event that they have going on. For once, I like every single skin, and the dances are cute, I guess.
Yeah, the
but
dances are adorable.
I mean, it's another event, and I mean, Blizzard once again supporting it. This year seemed to go by very fast. I didn't think it'd been out for a year, to be honest. So, you know, keep it coming, Blizzard. If you happen to tune in, keep it coming. And if you need some ideas, hit me up. Trophy Pops, Twitter.
The last story. This is more up David's alley. Apparently, the team behind Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising was working on a new IP. Reported by DualShockers. How hyped are you for this, David?
pretty hyped. Honestly, I'm really glad. I thought for some reason that studio had shifted to Scalebound, so I'm happy to hear that they've been kind of working on something else. I'm really excited. I mean, Bayonetta is like one of my favorite character action series, probably one of my favorite games. Bayonetta 2 is fucking awesome. If this was reported by DualShockers, I know that they're pretty like Sony leaning, but I don't know if it means anything. It might come to PS4. So I'm really excited. I don't think they've put something out that I didn't like. That exact studio, Platinum, obviously is kind of hit and miss these days, but if it's the Bayonetta studio, I'm totally confident that they'll. And this actually, all right, never mind. I'm not going to say anything else. I was about to spoil one of my predictions, so for E3, so I can't say anymore. But we'll see if it comes to fruition. This is good news for me.
We shall see. That's what they call a tease in the business, David.
That's right.
Drew, do you care about this at all? I mean, like, you care about it in the sense that you like care about, but you're not as hyped as David. I don't feel like you're not as.
I mean, I'm not as hyped, but in no way would I ever discredit Platinum Games for putting out Bayonetta, Bayonetta 2, and Metal Gear Rising. Okay, all three of those games I thought were really enjoyable, especially the Bayonetta side. You know, hey, bring me that original team back. You can bring me the good games. Don't sign off with anybody. Don't give me any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and none of that shit. Give me a legit Platinum game, and I'm sold probably. So I mean, I think they make good games when they. Shit. Yeah, well, I think when they do then in that case, when they do the A team, I'm sold. I think they do really well, like a really, really great job. So hopefully that's what we hear.
Totally.
Well, that is the news for the week. We're going to go into our next segment. That is, what are we playing? So, what are we playing this week?
Oh, you fucking skipped a story.
Did I?
You fucked it up.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
This is my favorite story.
Yeah, that's why we put it at the bottom. Dragon's Dogma is coming to PS4 and Xbox One.
That's it. That's all you really need to say.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome. I'm very excited.
I want to play this game. That
really
is
good.
the like fucked up thing about this is I totally want to play this game.
It's a very good game. I hope that they enhance the graphics. I think I read. That
I bet it'll be like a PC version that they released last year. Is what I would assume.
Yeah, very excited.
Is there a multiplayer in?
No, but there is an MMO sort of game that's only out in like the East, so you can't play it untranslated. But maybe
that doesn't help me.
People are thinking that this release is just more hype for like an announcement that they might be doing something else with the series, and that's the big hope, and that everybody who owns it already, I've read on like forums and stuff, is gonna buy it again like for the third or fourth time just to show
Capcom
that they like this game, because Capcom is like kind of dense and they don't understand like market like desires, so they're just like they put out things and they go, I don't think you guys want that other thing that you obviously want, so people have to like buy the game just to like vote and be like, I want more of this. So that's what I'll be doing because I own the PC version.
Yeah, that's what.
But I would like to play it.
I mean, I own like the original Dragon's Dogma and Dark Arisen, both on PS3. And I thought they were fun. I liked the environments in those as well. I mean, I know some people compare them to like Dark Souls and everything. I think it'll be fun. I would definitely want to play it again. Just the second your thing on the density of Capcom, like I read a news article earlier this week where they said that basing their Switch involvement, their Nintendo Switch involvement, is based on their Street Fighter 2 sales. So
that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
We're
gonna release a shitty port for full price with almost no added features. And if you don't buy it, we're not going to support the Switch. Like, that is what I mean. What in the fuck are they doing? It makes no sense. Like, I was so mad when I read that. I was like, you're out of your fucking minds. That's like your mom making like fucking burnt ass like pasta and being like, if you don't eat this, I'm never cooking again. Like, that's the only analogy I can think of. It's just like the biggest slap in the fucking face. Like,
I agree.
The market. I can't even believe it. So yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully they change their minds, because I would like to see more Capcom games on the Switch for sure.
Well, time will tell about that. Don't get your hopes up.
Time will tell.
Yeah. So now we're officially on to the next segment. Which is, what are we playing? Drew, what have you been playing?
All right. So let me preface this by saying this game is not the best looking game in the world. This past week, I put about, say anywhere from 40 to 50 hours into Marvel Heroes Omega.
Christ.
And
all right, break down. What is Marvel Heroes Omega?
Marvel Heroes Omega is a Marvel-based, MMO RPG, is what I would categorize it as. Right now, it's an open beta. The cool thing about the open beta, to give them credit for this, is obviously it's a beta, so it's free. The game will be free to play when it comes out. There are packs you can buy, but they give you enough, what they're called Infinity Shards, I believe. They give you enough Infinity Shards to buy any character you want, and you can try every character you want up to level 10. So you can definitely get a feel for every character. And just like any other RPG, there's like, not necessarily there's kind of a smaller skill tree, but there's different move sets and everything. I went with Star-Lord, level 59. Star-Lord
69.
Yeah, well, 60 is a level cap, so level 59
I thought you
Star-Lord.
said 69.
No, I said 59. Like I said, I just finished it this morning. The story is like not fantastic. I'll tell you, like, what I really enjoyed about the story was the cutscenes in it were a comic book style, but with like, I don't really know how to describe it very well, but they're slightly animated, but they're like drawn in a comic book style. So I like that, especially because it's like Marvel and all that stuff. So I enjoyed it to a point. It's not like a game I'm going to go back to.
Not knocking your socks off, but it was fun.
Not knocking my socks off. If I had people to play online, I did team up with a couple of people and do some of the story missions. I mean, it's I wouldn't say it's a Diablo or anything like that. Yeah. But it's a game. It's free.
It is a game. A ringing endorsement.
It's a game. It's
so
free.
Is it like the old Marvel games where like you control the character and you kind of ran around with your friends and like beat the shit out of things with the. You know what I'm talking about? They weren't online. But... Marvel
Ultimate Alliance.
Alliance.
It's a lot like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It's just now everybody's online, and
that seems cool. Good idea.
Look that great? Yeah, I mean.
I'm looking at. I don't know. I'm looking at some probably bull shots, but it looks okay to me. I don't know. It's an MMO.
I mean, I'm just saying it's not like the top tier, greatest looking game. But it's an MMO, so it'd be fun with more people playing, like to play with and talk to about it. But
always, yeah.
I mean, I went through it. Like I said, I went through all the skill trees, all the unlocks, and everything that I could do. it has some replay about value after you beat the story. There are like operations. There's a patrol zone where you can go and like random events happen every I think 5 minutes or something, and it'll be like take out Doctor Doom and the Sinister Six, and they're like way higher level than you, but the goal is to get everybody in the community that's on that server involved and knock them out. So, I had lost a couple hours just kind of fucking around a patrol. It's fun. So
cool.
Another complaint, real quick. Just the maps are fucking big. All right, especially towards the latter half of the game.
Like unnecessarily, is what you're saying?
In my opinion, they were like unnecessarily big because I was trying to go for some of the trophies, and one of the trophies is like do every treasure room, and so I would explore the entire map, and some of these maps are just huge. And I get that it's an RPG, so it would be to walk around, but I think it outstayed its welcome around the 40th minute marks, 40th hour mark. So I was just kind of like, well, time to just knock this one out and call it a day. So,
David, you've been playing an isometric game too, right?
Yes.
What is
I've
that?
been playing Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition. It's fucking awesome. The game is like I was playing Persona,
right?
and so I've been playing it with my girlfriend Shan, and so I was playing Persona, and I was like, turn-based isn't, I'm not as shitty as I thought I was. Then else this turn-based, and I want to play an RPG, and this was perfect. It's isometric. It's like playing Dungeons and Dragons 3rd Edition on a video game. Yeah. So you have all the traditional stats, all these attribute points, all these. And you've got to be. I watched a bunch of guides before I started because I'm like, I'm not doing this once, and I'm doing it right. And we're not having a hard time. We're doing really good in combat. You really it's just so involved. You can do like almost anything you can think of, like to solve different problems. Like it's very, very cool. There's tons of solutions to all the quests. The combat is like it's turn-based, and you move around, and everything costs action points, which you would expect. The classes all work really well together. Like Cheyenne plays like a geomancer, pyromancer, so she'll like put down a bunch of oil and then light it on fire to like trap people in it. I'm playing a ranger, and then we have another mage that's water and air. So we've got all the elements covered, and then we've got a tank character. So like positioning is super important, and you use the environment in combat. It's awesome. It's really fun. It's super like the gate of entry is like pretty high. So like you've got to be like really trying to invest yourself in the game because it starts slow and there's a lot of shit to learn. But once you get out of the first town and you start like actually fighting bosses and stuff, it's like really fucking cool. Like recommend quick saving a lot. It's kind of one of those games where like you can quick save in combat, so you can tell that they were like, okay, yes, there's a mode where if you die forever, but like who the fuck is gonna
that noise
do that? So we're going through it on classic, like normal mode. It's awesome. Super fun game. Highly recommended to RPG fans.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've also been playing the Vanquish port on PC. It's great. It's great. It's exactly what a port should be. It enhances the visuals. It runs smooth as butter. My rig isn't fantastic, but I hear it has 4K support, and it can go up to 144 FPS. Which apparently causes some kind of like glitch where like you take more damage.
because you're doing extra frames, which is
so I'm sure they've patched that already. Yeah. Sega's been really, really cool with the launch. They've been like in the forums, like, hey, if you guys think of any features you want us to add, or if you have any bugs, just let us know here and we'll look into it. They've stated like all these console commands for like increasing your field of view and like fixing the frame rate problems people have been having. They've been super, super supportive. Sega has really been like really on the ball as far as I'm concerned with their PC ports, and I hope that they do more of them. People are speculating Yakuza 5 maybe is getting a port. I don't know. We haven't heard anything else about that, but it's a great port, and I really think that it should be the gold standard for how you launch a PC game.
Yeah. As far as me, I've been playing. I made a whole separate video about this, about my experience with Nier. I wiped my hands of it. It's over. I'm done with Nier. I did not like Nier. Everybody likes this game. I gave it a chance. I played it for like 5-ish hours.
I liked the game, and then everybody was like really sucking its dick for like 3 weeks, and then I was like, okay, I don't think I like this game anymore that much because you're like completely like, have you ever read a fucking sci-fi novel? Like people were like, the story is just
I thought
mind
the story
blowing.
I thought it
was
was
like,
pretty cool, but like
really?
it did feel like it was like charted territory. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't anything nothing. It wasn't anything crazy special or anything.
It's a
like
classic anime sci-fi story.
Yeah.
It's serviceable. It's fine. Like the game.
I think the way they
wanna hear
frame
your
it.
opinion.
I think the way they frame it. I mean, I didn't play it all the way through, like even one time. But the way they frame it, I think, is the most interesting thing. Where it's like you play the different like times you play through. I think that's the cool part about the story and how it's told, rather than the content of the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, is I think the kind of not revolutionary, but like very interesting part of it. But yeah, for me, the open world in it is just terrible, and like the open world in like some games is terrible. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, I thought had a terrible open world, but like I could look past it and I was able to get through it. With Nier, I couldn't do it. It was just that bad. I hated it so much. Yeah. And like just running. Did
you get to where you get fast travel?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No, I guess I didn't. Yeah. I didn't even get that far.
Well, that makes it less terrible.
I got to I did the carnival stuff, and then I did I started doing like you get the what's the group after that? It's like Gilmore or something like that. You
got to like
they're like Ewoks
Pascal?
and shit. Yeah, Pascal. They're like fucking the Ewoks and shit like that.
Yeah.
You go and he's like, all right, go bring this back to your one camp. And I was like, all right, cool. Brought it back and they're like, hey, go bring this back to Pascal. And I'm like, okay.
That might be the worst part of it.
And I went back and I got lost and I'm like, and then I was like, okay, how did I get back originally? So I was like, I was going to go the long way. And like I got back by jumping over this hill that then or jumping down from this hill that I then couldn't get back over because the hill was too high. And then there was like right next to the hill, there's a building with like a bunch of open spaces that like have invisible walls in them where you just. And I was like, "Fuck this game! I'm over this. This fucking shit sucks." And like I was every now and then I do some side quests, and the side quests are all terrible. Like they are not investing in the story at all, and just no, I did not like it at all.
It's fair.
I have been liking though Little Nightmares, which we talked about I think 2 episodes ago. David, you played it. I'm on the. I just did the kitchen stuff. So
Great game.
That's not. Yeah, it is a perfect mix of it does what Inside does a little bit, makes it a little more cartoony, but still fucking creepy as shit. And then also, it has like platforming elements or more puzzle elements that I think are really easy. And really, really fun to kind of just mess around with and see how you can do different puzzles. The big problem, which we talked about, last time, is the fucking save points are just like they put you back way too far. Like you'll do like a puzzle will have 3 or 4 steps to it, and like you'll get to the 4th step, die, and have to restart all over again. I'm just like, no, I don't really.
Well, they get I don't know they get better towards the later parts of the game, which is weird. Like they become way forgiving when it's like obvious die, and I was like, okay, well, why didn't you just do this the whole time?
Yeah.
But on the whole, I liked it.
Yeah, no, I'll finish it this week. Yeah, but now there's a new segment we're gonna introduce to the podcast is game recommendations, where basically we're just gonna talk about one game we wanna just say you should play. Do you want to start, Drew?
Sure. I mean, I think that a game that I picked up, an older game that I picked up recently that might have been kind of lost in the 7th generation. Is that correct? PS3, etc.
Yeah.
I've been playing recently Split Second racing game. If you're a fan of arcade racers, made by Disney and BlackRock. Very fun game. The graphics hold up. I'm like super surprised how much I'm enjoying playing it. About halfway through the campaign for the racing right now, and I don't know if the online servers are still up or not. I haven't checked that yet, but I mean, it's definitely an enjoyable racer. So definitely recommend that if you're looking. Especially, it's probably like stupid cheap now too. So if you don't got a whole lot of monies to spend, I'd recommend.
Is that only on
Split Second?
360?
No, it's 360, PS3, and it's on Steam. But I believe it's $20 on Steam. Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool.
Check it out.
So that's our game recommendation for the week. Yeah, check that game out. So that gives us moves us into the last part of the podcast that we're doing right now. Is the topic of the week, and because Far Cry 5 got announced, I wanted to talk about politics in games and how politics relate to games and how games show their politics and stuff like that. And I just kind of wanted to get your opinion. Do politics have a place at games, or are you kind of just one of the ones that's like, I don't give a shit, just make a fucking, I want to shoot people and kill people? Just kind of what you guys are thinking about all that stuff. So Far Cry 5 specifically is where I wanted to start, but we already kind of touched on that earlier, where I talked about, I kind of gave my spiel as to why I think I'm interested, but I don't know how great it'll be. But what are some of kind of your best political moments in games, David?
You mean like what I've experienced that I like was like, wow, that's awesome.
That's sending a message that I can not get down with maybe necessarily, but that is interesting to you.
Let me think. Well, I mean, there was like BioShock Infinite's whole shit, and like I think my experience with politics in games hasn't really been like, wow, that really makes me think. It's been like, you guys are really pussies about this. Like, and I know it's a weird thing to say, but like in like BioShock Infinite, like there's like all this, you know, instilled racism and stuff. But like, and this is gonna sound weird, they never say the N-word. They never like show any actual violence. Black people. It's just like, this is a thing, and just think about it, but like not really. So like, I think there's a time and a place for politics in games. I think that some games should have them if you know the creators. It's all in the director's vision. That's fine. And and some people just don't. And it's just like with movies, and just like with music. Sometimes you're gonna hear about it, and sometimes it's gonna be there. But like video games have this problem where like they just don't fucking commit. Like it's like this industry more than any, I feel like, relies on like really selling as many units as possible, like at all costs, because they're so fucking expensive to make that you can't reasonably like put a big political message in your game, because then you're alienating like a bunch of your audience. So when they are trying to be political, they're doing it so like fucking like sterilely that it might as well just not even be there. Like if it fits the atmosphere of the game, they'll put it in, or if it's like a made up bullshit like conflict or something that fits the universe, that they can kind of like be like, whoa, look at the parallels. But nobody is being like, you know, like taking a fucking stance on like abortion in like a AAA game. Like that just never happens. So I just don't think we're gonna see an effective use of politics in AAA games anytime soon. And I seriously believe that Far Cry 5 will not do anything with its shit. I feel like it is just going to be what I said, and it's just going to be the basic, you know, not even really gray morality. And that's as close as you'll get, is like, is this right or wrong? But that doesn't make anyone feel bad for feeling a certain way about a political idea. So yeah, that's what I think. I just think that indie games can do it. Indie games do it, you know, pretty. I can't think of a specific example off the top of my head that's done it. I mean, like, thinking, I just can't. I can't.
Like, I play.
I'm sure there are some, but
my favorite. I don't know what's my favorite genre, but a genre I really like are adventure games, and I feel like they tackle this issue a lot. Specifically, stuff like not necessarily inherently political, but more like socially political, is like Gone Home and stuff like that. That like has been talked about to death. So I won't bore you with the fact that I love Gone Home, and Gone Home is cool. But the game I was actually going to talk about with an overtly political message is actually BioShock, the original BioShock, where they kind of just lampoon libertarianism and just be like, yo, this is what the fuck happens. Like, shit just fucks up if there's no rules and like, and everybody's just okay with stuff. And I really thought that was a really cool message to put into a game. And they, like you said, with Infinite, which I like Infinite a lot, don't get me wrong, it has problems, but I really like the Booker, the fuck's her name,
Booker
Elizabeth
relationship. And I actually thought the like lighthouse stuff was like pretty interesting, and like how that all relates to
cool.
it.
They tried too much.
And the Columbia in general, I felt like has you're right. They pussyfoot around the issue of racism to a certain degree. Yes. I thought Mafia 3 in a AAA game kind of took on racism in a pretty interesting way. Were you gonna say that, Drew? Well, you can go talk about it some more, because you actually played it.
Yeah, no, again, a game that wasn't fantastic. I put like 60 hours into this shit. The biggest takeaway was the narrative. I mean, the narrative of this story was so great. and I mean, you can hear it on the hot take. The environment took away from it.
Yeah.
If it were smaller, more just compact story, just narrative driven, which it should be, because the Mafia 2 was more narrative driven, and then Mafia 2 is fantastic in my opinion. I mean, the David, you said they don't use the N word. Mafia 3 definitely uses the N word, and definitely plays on like. It does not shy away from any of the racist terms or like being mistreated as a black person. Like, it goes in on just how it was back then, and I think that's how a game should be. It shouldn't take away from, it shouldn't be like, oh well, that didn't happen, because it did happen, and like, if you're gonna make a game in that time, it should address it. I'm trying to think of another game that dealt with political issues. I mean, not necessarily political, but maybe more just controversial issues. I mean, you're saying indie. I would just bring up like that PC game, the something dragon about cancer.
Oh, that dragon cancer. Yeah.
I don't know if that was political.
Yeah, I mean,
that was more like, I get what you're saying. But
it's a bigger. It caused people to play it, and like, it made a little stir. I think that there's some games that could really benefit from, going all out in that aspect, and causing, not causing, but like putting that political aspect in the games. It sells games. Controversial things that aren't talked about sell games, because and of course you're going to lose people, because some people don't agree with what you have to say, or some people just don't agree with, like, what it is that you're trying to portray and all that. But there are people that are going to be very into it. There's people that are going to really attach to that story or feel like some sort of, emotion because of how you're portraying your story, whether it be through the political issues or just bigger issues that are, like you said, abortion, So.
Yeah, I get, like, there are games that definitely pander to certain political beliefs. Like, I want to mention, like, Night in the Woods. Like, Night in the Woods is, and that's fine. And that's one thing. But it's totally another for a game with, like, a broad audience appeal to get nitty gritty about something that people don't necessarily want to hear about or want to talk about, but it's important to say anyways.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that I just don't think we're going to see it that much. And even, like, blockbuster movies don't do it either. They don't.
No. Blockbuster movies don't.
So it's very common to, like, and I get it. And you want to I mean, it's escapism. It's not like you're not going to play a video game and be like, oh yeah, fucking this and this and politics is happening and this sucks. So this is, like, ruining my vibe. So there's a time and a place. And I think that indie games will always be better representations of how video games can tackle politics. And AAA games will always be more about how to make a game that speaks for itself and makes you think about things in the real world, but through the lens of, like, an alternate reality. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's what I think.
How about like,
how about that?
How about games that forget about putting politics in the games that are just developed in general, that get a lot of flack from politics, from media that is news media. I mean, should games continue to do that? I mean, because I think I've already stated I think they should. I think the only, like, bad kind of thing, and it didn't stop the sales, was Colombia was like, hey, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Bolivia. Bolivia, don't portray our country as some cocaine smuggling country, because that's not true. So, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But, like, besides that, I mean, and people talked about it, and now it's a thing of the past. But, like, there's that. I mean, and I already said, games like GTA get the notoriety from the political media and all that. And I think that gamers don't care. I don't think gamers care.
The fuck is Jack Thompson up to these days?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is he dead?
I think he went to jail.
Oh, very good.
I feel like he went to jail for.
Oh, he was disbarred.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, yeah, because he was, like, doing, like, shady shit. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, classic Jack Thompson.
Yeah, he's a real piece of shit.
Classic Jack Thompson.
But yeah, no, what you were saying with in the way of games kind of being derided, yeah, like the whole ESRB thing in the 90s with Mortal Kombat and stuff like that. And then just every it kind of like with GTA and then with Mass Effect depicting sex and stuff like that. We every now and then this stuff happens. Which I don't like. Something like Manhunt. I'm not like I like, but you have to defend that to a certain extent because you don't want to set a precedent and get on a slippery slope kind of thing. I don't know. But yeah, that has been our show. The Current Gaming Podcast. It was fun. This was a cool episode. We're in video now. We reached our Patreon milestone of $0. So that's great.
Thank you to all our supporters.
Thank you. So yeah, we'll be back next week. I said it last week, but I meant the week coming up that we're gonna do E3 predictions. We're gonna do E3 predictions for all the conferences, and it'll be fun. And then the week after that, we are gonna do we'll come to you a day later, but we're gonna be talking about the E3 conferences, the Sony, Microsoft, Bethesda, EA, or Ubisoft.
Let me mention, whoever wins the most points on their prediction gets to pick a game of $15 or less that the other two people have to buy them.
Yep. So that is
our game.
We have a legit bet.
Looks like I'll be playing Flint Hook. You know what I'm saying, boys?
So yeah, we got that going on. I am Charles Tula on Twitter. You can follow me there. Drew, what are you?
At Trophy Pops on Twitter. You can follow me there as well.
And my guy David Morgan, you with the best Twitter handle in the game.
That's right, David Morgan 1993. Don't follow me. My Twitter sucks.
You can follow us all on there. Follow us on YouTube. Or Current Media is the YouTube channel. I just had a Let's Play of ARMS go up. That was cool. So you can watch that or don't watch it. I don't care really. It's pretty bad. I get into a fight with a guy whose name I think is like vaguely racist. So that's fun. Check that out.
My fucking arms are sore from that game. I used the first day.
Did we talk about ARMS? We didn't talk about ARMS.
What the fuck are we doing?
Talk about ARMS.
Fuck it up.
Rewind a little bit. Let's talk about ARMS.
Yeah, no, ARMS was great.
Edit this into the news pod part.
Or
something.
I can't.
Don't
We've been talking about it for this long. Like, I can't edit it at this point.
Well, I played motion controls the first day and my arms hurt, so I tried the regular control. But I do think that the motion controls are more fun, so it's hard.
ARMS is cool. Check out ARMS.
ARMS is cool. I think the motion controls work well, but I mean, I play with the Pro Controller personally. Next week, if you're hearing this tomorrow, next weekend, this weekend was the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Test Punch will be live again. Check online for times for that, whether you be Central, Pacific, or Eastern. And then they're actually replacing volleyball. Yeah, exactly. And they're replacing volleyball this weekend with the basketball. So be sure to check that out as well. Maybe we'll hear some other news. Maybe they might add a character and take one out. Who knows? But
I'll play as Twintel now.
Everyone wants to play as Twintel.
Give Twintel.
Yeah, but that's been our show. Cool. Talk to you guys later.
Peace out.
See ya. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Peace.